Hi everyone, welcome to Nollywood Film Club podcast. I'm Mr. C of Iroko Critic. And off the top, I just want to say, I just want to make an addendum. I think I actually do this um, on the space, but just in case, I haven't heard the makers of the project refer to this as the first. This is not to say they haven't done this, the first of its kind. It's not to say they haven't done it, but I haven't heard about it. So some people make that sort of critique, but they might not be making of the makers of the project themselves. Maybe other people are saying it on their behalf, but that wasn't clarified. I'm just letting you know that I haven't seen the makers of the film make uh, market it as such as the first. Okay, all right. That out of the way. Also worth letting you know there are a few rants in this, um, but you'll hear it as you go along, and I'm sure you'll know they'll be in the bad section. You can use the timestamps below to find. But yeah, I hope you do enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing Obara'm. Carrying too many things in my head at this point. All right, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We discuss movies every Sunday. We're gonna do the good, the bad, and summary. Maybe push back if for some reason we want to argue about this film. Where today we're going to be discussing Obara'm, which should be something. All right, we're going to start with the good. Cynthia, is just you at this point. So tell us, sing us the things that you like to best about.
I'm sorry. It seems like the song scared people. Okay, that was serious. So can I even be serious? Because I don't know. This movie was wonderful. It took me out, and it's been a while. I've been taken out by movies. It took me out. It left me perplexed, and that is enough good. Like I finished this movie a few hours ago, and 1 hour, and I'm still like, yeah, what did I watch? So that feeling of uncertainty, confusion. I mean, from beginning to the end, even the title, I don't even know why it's called Obara, but that feeling of uncertainty, it's enough good for me. So going into the movie itself, so let me tell you guys what happened yesterday because this is part of the likes. So yesterday I went to visit a friend, and my friend played a song and he was dancing. I was like, "You are dancing like how they used to dance in church. You are dancing like you are in the auditorium." So then I played the song for me and I now danced. Then when I watched this movie, you saw that Yana Paja let it shine church scene at the beginning when they were dancing. I was like, wow, these people are dancing like us. So that realization that I could see my dancing step in the movie is part of my life. I was like, yeah, so this is how I was dancing yesterday. So I was like, yeah. So that's there. So my third like, which is about the movie now. Um, it's going to be I think Papa Oluchi and Iwunaya had some scenes. Why say they had chemistry, or why say that I felt like, oh yeah, this is the grandfather talking to his grandchild. So those scenes they were together when they spoke, and everything. I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, someone is acting, I can see or I can feel things. Even with Papa Oluchi, it came over. You could see that with the way he was acting, you could tell that it was running away from something, and you could seeing that they were poor, you could tell that it was running away from money. So yeah, and I also liked when the teacher Pius went to meet him and decided to like seclude Naya from the discussion because it has to do with money. So for real, in the old movie, I think it was more of Papa Oluchi and Naya scenes that I enjoyed. I also, I enjoyed the trash choreography at the beginning, though, because I was dancing like that yesterday. So seeing seeing my dance steps, seeing my dance steps on the screen the next day was a very good wow moment for me. Then finally, when I was done with this movie, like I said, I was perplexed. I was confused. I was taken aback. I don't even know. But when I was done with this movie, I was like, you know what? I watched Disney growing up. Let me go back and listen to those songs. So I went back and I listened to Let It Shine. I listened to Don't Run Away. I listened to How Far I Will Go. I listened to Let It Go. I listened to Do You Want to Build a Snowman? I listened to China and Beautiful. I listened to this is all in an hour. Oh. I listened to Austin and Ali Christmas song. I listened to High School Musical Breaking Free. I listened to Lemonade. So after like this is the after effects of this movie. Or like this movie took me to YouTube Music to be searching for the Disney songs I like, and I really, really do appreciate it. So yeah, that's my good. I mean, I enjoyed Papa Oluchi and Irunaya. I enjoyed seeing my kind of dancing step on the screen. It took me back. So the nostalgia feeling. I went back to listen to songs I love, and yeah, and I was confused. I was perplexed. I was filled with so much uncertainty, and I almost forgot this particular one. So no, no, no. How can I forget? This is the most important. When I started this movie, for the first few minutes watching a movie, I was uninterested about the acting. Like I was like, I'm not bothered about the acting. Like, yeah, I'm not bothered, but I had a question. Okay, and my question is going to come in the dislike. But yeah, so this was a new feeling for me. Like I'm watching a movie, 20 minutes in, I'm unbothered about the acting, but then there's my sister, so she would like knock your head so you remember that is a movie and she has bad acting, so you remember the acting. But anyways, I was unbothered about the acting, and it's a first time. It's a first time. So that's it. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, that's been the most interesting good section we've had in some time. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. All right. Okay. So, Anka, please tell us some of the things you liked about Obara'm. By the way, if you do want to speak, you can just request to be a speaker or just comment underneath the space. Now read up some of the things you like as well.
Hello, everybody. I have to say, number one, we got to watch this movie because of its statistical insignificance. But okay, that's life. Life happens like that. So now I want to talk about musical theater, right? Oh, by the way, just to say, I'm going to be using specifically like the Western musical theater in the American tradition, not all musicals have to follow this. Bollywood has been doing their thing before America was doing their musical thing. Well, whatever. This film at least knew kind of somehow new musical theater something because the song is supposed to be in musical theater. The difference between what like if I listen to people who love musical theater and the sort of like things that they say, especially if they studied it online, don't go onto the musical theater social media for some reason. I don't know how I got there, but I got there somehow. Um, a musical is the song is integral to the movie. Like it pushes the story forward when the character cannot do anything but sing. And then a musical theater, I think the songs are not necessarily integral or connected to it. And in a way, this movie kind of was a musical because there was some of the songs definitely pushed the story forward. But one other thing that could happen. So if you the original West Side Story, right? Natalie Wood is not the person singing that song. The King and I, the original one, Deborah Carr is not the person singing. The woman that is singing is the nun, one of the nuns in musical, in what's it called? The one where they have like 8 children. What's the name of that musical? Do Amy? Huh? Yes. Sound of Music, yes. One of the nuns, one of the elder nuns in Sound of Music, if you watch it, that's the person that is singing that song. I say this to say that Nancy Simon can be picked as the actress. And it's not that she's not a good singer. You can be a good singer and not necessarily have the voice for the musical or necessarily have the training for the musical something, right? Many musicals, like for instance, what's it called? Cameron Jones? The actress that they picked for that all black musical from the 50s, the actress that they picked, she's a singer. But there were parts of the song where it has to be like an opera singer, and she's not an opera singer. And they replaced some parts of her voice, most of her voice, with an opera singer. And this is not a dig on Nancy Simi at all. Also, in a musical, you're not singing live on stage. You're not singing live on stage. You're not singing live with something. Those songs, every single one of those musicals, they are all ADR in a way. Right? Even Bollywood, most of the sound you're hearing from the speaking to everything, because Bollywood is made in India, and India is kind of like Nigeria. Electricity and people making too much sound, making too much noise happens. Most of it is ADR. And especially it's a musical. Everybody is kind of expected to be ADR. So you don't have to have Nancy Simi be the person singing that song. You kind of also need to get people who are musical directors or who knows how to deal with musicals or even make music videos or something like that in it. And that didn't necessarily... this is... I'm so sorry, this is the good. So the good is that some of the music pushes it forwards. Nancy Sime looked very beautiful in that ending scene in that dress. That dress was very beautiful. The little girl can act. Ikoma Cuomo does acting very well. The person that plays the auntie that tells Nancy Sime to get out of her sight, I've forgotten her name. I know I watched her growing up, but I've forgotten her name. Forgive me. Yes, wonderful voice, by the way. Yes. Grandma, she's way older than us. I'm just calling her name now. Wonderful voice. That scene, loved it. Almost got me crying. Good actress too. What was it? I could see an element of some sort of writing story, and there's a story here. And the story written, I'm not talking about dialogue. I'm not talking about the dialogue. The story about a woman changing and learning about not to be selfish and learning just more. There's a story there that could be told and could be wonderfully told. So some of the choreography was not bad. Some of it very much was like in the musical tradition, and I said it. That's something I want to give it to it. The good here is that next time I say something, I would very much love it if this is like an example that we can use for a campaign of like you can literally usurp Mr. C. That's also good. Usurp him. You guys, everybody watch Game of Thrones, okay? Copy it. We already copied it in real life. Your little usurping is not going to change anything. There's no need to be moral about it, okay? Thank you. I'm done. I rest my case.
Wow. Okay. All right. Noted. I know how quickly to be muting people now. All right.
I enjoyed the movie, by the way, because I can enjoy anything. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Inka. Let me read some of the comments. Everywhere sent some of the things she likes. Hanaya and Papa Oluchi's acting made me happy. I liked the story generally. I liked how it unfolded. I liked how there was no reconciliation with Hanaya and her father. I liked that the support act delivered well. I It is not so irritating to watch. High praise. The sound design in the different locations were lovely, differentiated city and village well. Only the first song did not stress me. Wait, am I in the good? Okay. Only the that's not very good. So the first song did not stress her. Refreshing to see Onyeka Owenu. All right, okay. Omodudu, please tell us some of the things you liked about Obara'm.
Hi everyone. So I will start with I think I kind of appreciate their efforts making this a musical.
I
I
like
kind of appreciate
intentions. I see the intentions. Okay, we see you. Go ahead.
it. So I will start with Darasimi. She's a very good actress. The little kid, I think she's good. If she's well mentored, she would, you know, play well. So she she kept me glued to the movie. Actually, she's the one who kept me to the end. And at some point, I kind of liked Nancy's performance. Not throughout the movie. At some point, I kind of liked Nancy's performance because I was like, "Wait, is this Nancy? Are you kidding?" Maybe she fits this type of aggressive, wayward, something kind of character. I don't know, but she didn't do bad. Um, Grandpa, yeah, came. I don't know whether I pronounced it very well. Sorry, Nkem Owo, he did very well. And our elegant stallion, she has a very good voice, singing voice and talking voice, and she's a very good actress. I was like, no, this woman is beautiful and she's very good. Um, I like Bishop, the guy who played Bishop. I like him. He's a good actor, and I think I've seen him in old Nollywood, like kind of before in a long time, and recently I've been seeing him too in new projects. Maybe he left and came back. He's a good actor. What else do I like? Yeah, Bolaji Ogumola. Bolaji Ogumola is a good actress too. Yeah, she's very good. Um, what else do I like about this movie? Yeah, the story. I think it has a story. I want to exclude the musical thing. Like without the music, I think it has a good story and it would have been better with good writing to it has a good story. I would just say that. I think that's all I like about the movie.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your holding back and not getting into bad stuff during the good section. We appreciate you, Omodudu. All right. Ezemov Kadena says, love to see Nkem Owo acting the way he did, not his usual self. Dara is definitely a star in the movie. Yes, I think a lot of us can agree on that. Okay. Atas, tell us.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you like about Obara'm?
So there was a story in there that I quite liked. I'm interested in knowing what the original script looked like because I think that there was the story, the idea of the story was very lovely. I enjoyed the child actor. She was firm and she conveyed some of her emotions very clearly. It was refreshing to have her, and I can't wait to see what else she does. Also, her hair. She was such a beautiful child. I enjoyed seeing Nkim and Oyenka on screen together. Well, in the same movie. And then there was also like a gracefulness about Nkim, especially in the scenes where he's a choir director. Um, That's it. I think I think that I enjoyed that. It was a timely follow up to Sister, where we got to see a deadbeat dad there, and I guess here it's a deadbeat mom. So that for me was interesting. Neither here nor there for the movie, but yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Atas. Yeah. Well, I remember watching this and we're thinking, wow, Demi is both. It felt like almost reverse sister in this case, right?
Yeah,
But yeah. All right. Of course, with Demi being the fulcrum, I think Demi is just, he's very busy. Let's just say that. Okay. I see Elizabeth keeps on going in and out. Mrs. C, do you want to say some of the things you liked?
Sure. I will echo the last couple of people. Darasimi is a beautiful child. I really like that child. I want to see her in more stuff. She's just, yeah.
Did we first see her in something special?
Yeah, we saw her in Something Special first. Just such a good little actor. I really hope they keep. I really hope they give her roles and direct her and don't ruin her acting, because it's never mind. We're on the good. So yes, I did enjoy that. I was saying if I give this one 1 star, every star I'm giving them is for that child. But yeah. I think always a pleasure to see. Such a beautiful singer. I wish they didn't auto-tune her.
I look good. Keep positive.
Okay. Yeah, can't win. It was great to see. Nancy was less bad than usual. What else did I like? The owner of the bar, who plays the owner of the bar that they sing at. I thought he was funny. I enjoyed him. Bucci, yes. Bucci. I enjoyed Bucci. I did like him. Her flatmates, the guy who was the chief of police chief of the department in Crime and Justice Lagos, he's kind of a beautiful man. I like seeing him in stuff. What else did I like? Oh, I'm just gonna say, in terms of storyline, besides one little thing, I did like that the father character was like, I'm not gonna like, I'm happy to pay for stuff, but I'm not gonna integrate this child into my life. I have some bad in that, but I kind of appreciate that, because I'm not rooting for deadbeat dads on Father's Day. I'm not rooting for oh God, on Father's Day, in the month of Pride, not rooting for deadbeat dads. However, if somebody showed up 10 years later with, here is your kid, I think I'm well within my rights to be like, anyway, so yeah. What else? I was gonna say a thing, but you're gonna say I stole your point, so I'll keep that quiet. I did enjoy in Kim for the most part, just because I really do enjoy seeing him on screen. I really like that. And I liked the opening song.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. So Obara'm, okay. Things that I liked. So I liked the little girl's performance for the most part. There's a thing in some of the writing that I thought was actually I felt like was very fresh. There were aspects of the dialogue that was like, this isn't actually, I mean, it's framed with other issues. It's in the midst of other issues. There's some dialogue in there that is kind of nice and that feels like, oh, this child lives in this village and lives in this home and has a life here. She felt like an actual character, and they gave her, working on a film that has another character that was sort of, we're told he's intelligent, and it doesn't mean squat throughout the movie, right? But like, this child's intelligence is very much a huge part of her. And I like the way they sort of even they give her this character where she's like very she's very honest and very clever and all of that. And like I think in the beginning where she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I?" When she tells the man um, where her grandfather was, and he came to collect money, and she was like, she was like, "Oh no, did I? I'm sorry, I let the man know where you are," because like later on, she's going to start judging, obviously, her mother, but like you need that not to come out from you need that not to come out from nowhere. We see that they've laid it out that she's a very up good citizen. All of the words are not coming to me today for whatever reason, but they've set her up to be a very good person. What else? I think this is Nancy's best performance that I've seen in a long time, which might be sad in the grand scheme of things, but I really had lost hope on Nancy. I really had. But this film had made me realize that maybe if you cast her as someone who is unlikable, that would be good, because one of my best parts of this movie was watching Nkem beat Nancy with a belt. Did he use the belt? I can't remember using the belt. He used his hand. He should pulled it out. That was one of my favorite parts of this movie. Probably abuse so problematic of some kind, but the character is so obnoxious. I just wanted her to just yeah. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that
And what was the beating? What was the good you thought was stealing from me?
Oh, that Ihunaya's smartness.
Okay,
But
yes,
yeah.
that would have been stealing from me. Yes.
Okay, Mom.
All right, but I enjoyed that. I'm not gonna do the intentions because obviously we know that's banned here. About seeing the intentions. However, because I guess this is new ground. No, I can't do it. All right, that's it. That's it for me. I can't go where I want to go because it just won't work. We can pivot into the body. If Elizabeth joins us later, she'll join us later. If something else comes up, I'll probably I'll try and remember. But all right, let's pivot into the things that we don't like. If you also send things that if you don't want to speak, send your comments in the thing and I'll read them out. All right, Cynthia, let's start with you. What are the things you did not like?
Okay, so I know everyone loves Iwunaya's acting. I genuinely liked it. I mean, Darasime was the person that kept us watching. But at some point, I felt like I know she's supposed to be this girl that's supposed to be inquisitive. She has a sharp mouth and everything. At some point, I felt like I felt like maybe because she was carrying the movie, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like she was very adult. Yes, you have children that have sharp mouths are usually like that, but I don't know how to explain. But I just felt a little bit of childishness or child or kid or a 10-year-old was somehow missing. I know she grew up with her grandfather, she's exposed and all that and all that. She has a sharp mouth, she's inquisitive, she's smart. I don't know, I just felt a little bit of a child was kind of missing, but I enjoyed the acting and all. Well, that's like the simple bad, so it's not like a big deal, but I kind of missed just seeing a child in the midst of being smart. Okay. So like I said, when I started watching this movie, I asked why are they singing, and this is because for all the musicals we like. Okay, so I'm someone that grew up watching Disney, and no, let me not bring Disney. Let me bring RRR because RRR was quite popular in Nollywood space, the Indian movie of last year, and we know that Indians have been doing their own music and everything, but in RRR, we could see that when they were singing, they had this translation going, telling us the premise. We know that they're in the opposite side and they are going to clash. What is going to happen when they clash? Okay. So the song or the popular song in RRR was trying to tell us the next plot or what we are going to see in the movie. They're going to clash, so what's going to happen? But you can see that they have built a friendship, they're acting like brothers, but in following the next scenes, we're going to see this clash and they want us to like ponder on it, wonder, oh, will they still become friends or will they still continue this long brotherhood friendship that they have built, or will they clash? When we go to Disney, so I have to bring Disney. When we saw Frozen and the lady was doing, do you want to build a snowman? We could see that it's winter. We could see that Elsa is scared of her power, so she's eating. We could see that her sister was bored and she was singing, do you want to build a snowman? We could tell, okay, this is where it's going. She is lonely and she wants her sister to come and she wants to play with her sister. Even when Elsa went with Let It Go, we could see that she has been hiding her power and she has not accepted who she is. And at this point, she has put her glove. She is creating the ice crystal. She has accepted who she is. So I can go on, even Let It Shine. We know the reason why the last song happened with all the whole hiding of identity from Don't Run Away. This is the truth. And I mean, like a lot of the movies with music, they're either like pushing the plot, or in India, they're telling us the plot openly. Um, they're drawing emotions. The reason why we remember this song after watching the movie is because it fits the scene, it fits what we are watching. Okay, 5 years from today, I'm going to remember China Anne singing You Are Beautiful in Aunt's Family because that particular episode, she wanted to change who she is. And at the end, she's singing You Are Beautiful. And I'm going to remember it. I'm going to remember This Is Me from Camp Rock. So where am I going with this? With all the music, and this is why for the first 20 minutes, I didn't care about the acting. My question was, why are they singing? Okay, um, what is this telling me? Are you telling me everything like an Indian movie where they tell me the plot, where they tell me what to anticipate? Um, there was a Always Be With Me song, and my brain was trying to, or was it always with me? My brain was trying to draw it to Papa Oluchi's death, but then I don't even have background of their relationship. So my real question is, why are they singing? Like, is it because they wanted to? Because if you remove the whole song and they sat down to like focus on the story, maybe there would have been something there. But is it because they wanted to just make a musical? Is it because it was advertised as the first musical in Nollywood, breaking a lot of buzz records? But I really don't know. So yeah, even after I'm done watching the movie, I'm still like, why were they singing? What was the song going to do? I think the worst that took me out, this is the worst that took me out, was when Nancy's character went to the village and she heard Papa Oluchi's voice. And I was expecting a self-reflection. I was like, okay, maybe there'll be a self-reflection. And the song or the lyrics I was singing was Righteous God, I surrender to you, oh Lord. And I was like, why? Why? What's going on? Okay, they're in a band. Okay, they're in a band. Okay, they're in a band. Okay, so what? Okay, they're in a band. They're trying to progress, but I mean, it. I don't even know. I don't even know. So yeah, the major uncertainty was um why are they singing? And I think the only time I could be like, maybe this song would have fit was during the father's burial when the boys were gossiping and they were gossiping in song, be like a shower and everything. I mean, that's a dialogue that could have happened and they decided to put it in a song. I was like, okay, it's not bad. But the remaining part, I'm like, why are they singing? Why are they using this music? Are they using it to convey the next plot? Are they using it for me to anticipate what is going on? Are they using it for me to draw emotion? It's someone having self-reflection. Someone was supposed to have self-reflection, but you're making her give her life to Christ with the song. So yeah, it's really, really puts me out. Like, why are they singing? So it really, really puts me out. So now to the whole movie. I mean, there's a story there, like you have said, but from the beginning, it's funny because when I saw the Miss character appeared in the bar and I did not see him again, I was like, this guy probably came as guest appearance because they and me always do guest appearance in movies. So I don't know if they wanted us to anticipate who this character is, but because they and me always take role in Nollywood movie, I've already put him as guest appearance. I was like, oh, this guy came to do guest appearance. Then the twist happened, and he's the father, and we see this Nina. Is that his name? Yes. So Nina just appeared from nowhere. So yeah, another thing is motivation of all these people. Nina just appeared from nowhere and he sees Oluchi, he sees his daughter, and the next thing he wants the family. And I'm like, why? Why does he want the family? He goes to meet her. He wants Oluchi, he wants Irunaya, he wants the baby. I mean, you went to prison, you came back from prison, you have been there, you didn't care. What exactly is pushing you? Yes, people are happy. Irenaya's father did not accept her, but I just felt it was stressful when she went to meet the damn his character. It was his name, Fidelis. And then it was like, okay, fine. 3 days later, is in Irenaya's school. I just felt like if I was not going to accept her, why put me through that stress of going to the school to confirm if you are the daughter, and I'm not going to accept you, and I will just give you money. Yes, happy you're not going to accept. I wish it just ended with, oh Jesus, I just remember something. That scene when he went to meet the daughter and it was going to be like, I'm not going to accept you. I don't understand why the daughter wanted to hug her father. Because, sorry, Ironaya was made as this smart girl that do not need family. She was ready to say, Mommy, go away, even though she's a child. I didn't understand why she wanted to hug her father, why she was sad. Oh, yeah, she's sad. But, like, I didn't understand why she just wanted to hug him at that moment and say, I'm your father. Because she just met him and she has been a sharp mouth. So that took me out. But back to the DMA's Fidelis character, I just felt like this scene was going to end with him not accepting the child. It's okay if you end it with the babe coming to meet him and him ending it there. The whole going to do DNA test to confirm. Okay, maybe they're showing that he's going to be a good father. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. And back to Irunaya's smartness, I got bored with the whole I have a question, I have a question, I have a question. I know it's part of what small children say when they are smart and everything, but I just got bored of that. Then what else again? What else again? See, I'm trying to remember this movie. What else? What else? Um, our flatmates. What's their name? Bishop and Charity. I They were in the background. I can't even lie. Bishop is a fine guy. Bishop is a fine guy. Ah, I was just smiling when I saw it. Bishop is a very, very fine guy. So, but him and the charity babes relationship and the relationship with Nancy, I was kind of confused. I was like, what's going on here? Did they want us to imagine things? What's happening? Because it felt like the bishop was closer to Nancy than the girlfriend and everything. I just felt they were very in the background and they were trying to like push things in the movie. Then now that I spoke about Charity, I now remember Charity was the one that helped Unaya to go home. Yes, Irunaya was a smart babe, we know, but I was kind of shocked that in this movie she went to meet Charity that they did not show us to collect money. She went to the village. When she went to the village, she went to visit her auntie. Auntie did not know the boarding school she was going to, right? Because Auntie had to call Mr. Pius to ask him about boarding school and take the babe to the boarding school and all those stuff. So I was very confused that she went back to the village. She saw her auntie, oh, she packed her load, oh, she went to boarding school. All this happened in less than a day. Talk more of how although she was very irresponsible and Inraya missed 2 times. I actually thought, at some point, I thought that the Nina guy came to carry her. But that scene or that revelation was really, really confusing. I was like, is the auntie also responsible? Because she had to go and meet Mr. Pius to ask for boarding school. And it also confused me more because I knew she was smart. I knew she was reading. Okay, so there was a time she was reading in the village, but this whole exam came out of nowhere. I mean, they showed us the father paying the money for the common entrance exam. So it happened, Beria. She was in the city. She kind of figured it out that she passed, or she passed before they traveled. I don't know. I was confused, especially another thing was with the piano or the keyboard in that house. Sorry, everything is just coming like this because I did not write notes. So, and any plot I remember, any plot I remember, that's the plot I'll pick. But the piano in that house. So, um, yeah, so anyway, I've rounded up the school stuff. Our whole journey to school and the auntie and everything, and the auntie not even knowing the house. I was really, really confused. I was like, what is going on here? What is going on here? But back to the piano, because I just remember that piano. The beginning thing, or the first time we saw the house, they're shooting in and zooming in the piano. When we later saw the village, they are zooming in the piano. I'm like, what is this piano? What is this keyboard supposed to do? Is it that I'm just saying that they had the opportunity to show us um uh because the song Irunaya sang when she went to the city was a song Papa Oluchi probably taught Oluchi. Because how did she know the song? Oluchi sang the song. So it's probably a transfer from Papa Oluchi to Oluchi. And now he's taking care of Irunaya. He's teaching Irunaya this song. I'm just saying that with the whole zooming in and zooming out of the piano, that I did not do anything. I was waiting for someone to play the piano. Maybe this is how and I'll be like, oh, so the father brings the children, or the father encouraging the children into music is how they started to sing or something. But they just kept zooming in and zooming out of that piano, and I'm like, what is this supposed to do? What is this supposed to do? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I can't remember. I think if I remember, I'll come back. But in all, I just felt like probably there was something there, but they wanted to make the first musical. And you know what? When you are so focused on making the first of something, oh, it's going to be the first. And you don't want to do it where you really do not care about anything. Sha, let them sing. Aha! Now I remember that scene when they were hearing where you did, those band guys. Shasha, they just wanted to make the first musical. They had a story to show, okay, this babe is a very, very annoying girl, very irresponsible Oluchi. She abandoned her kid. She doesn't even care about her father. All she cares about is money. But later on, she have self-reflection because she lost her child twice. Oh, what's a motivation? She later realized that she's supposed to give her life to Christ, according to this movie, or she's supposed to self-reflect and be a good mother now. But I'm just saying that they had a story in between the whole thing, but because they wanted to make the first musical, they had songs that did nothing to move the plot. If the song was even telling me the next plot safe, I'll be happy. But the song was not moving the plot. The song was not explaining anything. The song was not doing emotion. It just took everything out that I cannot appreciate the story. And yeah, that's it for me. I just felt they were too focused on making the first musical and they missed the story and God will judge them for all the songs. And yeah, it is what it is.
All right, thanks. Well, thanks, guys. We next week we are talking about Battle on Booker Street since Cynthia done said all of the points. All of the points. We can close this now. Anyway, thanks, Cynthia. A lot said. I wanted to touch on a couple of things from there. One, I think the kids sounding smart. I understand actually exactly what you mean by that. I think that's a problem even Hollywood has. Kids tend to sound more like adults. Like I think there's a way. That's why some of my favorite parts of this is actually when I don't even know whether this was intentional, but there was a time where in her being smart, she messed up and Nancy corrected her. I think she was, I don't know what
The
her intention
mattress
was.
and the bed. The mattress and the
Yeah,
bed.
yeah. That dialogue where she said, I think she said, she said something about her mom died before she gave,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that one too, but still.
Yeah, I think I needed more of those kind of things to just remind you that still small picking would have been nice. But yeah, I understand. But yes, a lot of things that we'll get to some. Going to call Elizabeth because Elizabeth has not said likes or likes and likes and dislikes. I don't know if Elizabeth is ready. Elizabeth, you there? All right. If she's not ready, don't worry. We'll come back to you. Do all of your this together. All right. Oyenkans, do you want to say some things you didn't like?
Yes. Cynthia has gone through some things, but you better not mute me because you forced me to watch this movie. So I'm just saying. Eh, hey, there's one good that I forgot that will transition me into like ranting. By the way, I enjoyed this movie, but well, I wasn't that upset about it. But I speak like I have passion for everything. I don't actually. The scene where the owner of the club was talking about what is he seeing on the stage, about how is there a 10-year-old child singing in a bar establishment. When they brought that up in that is a good. It was very funny. It was very comedic, and it was just like so. When you had all your bandmates, when you had the character, I'm talking to the writer now, Mr. Writer. When you had all the band characters, was like, why don't a 10-year-old sing in a bar establishment at night where many people are drinking and she is the singer? Why they made that suggestion? And they know that it is a bar establishment where alcohol is being sold. They know it is not like, oh, Mama Buka has alcohol, you follow. No. It's a nighttime entertainment for adults. And then the writer allowed them to write to put that. Does that make any sense? This now goes into my something. Cynthia has already mentioned how the music, and I do want to say this. The music doesn't necessarily even have to push the something forward to be like, quote unquote, a musical, although some musical theater people will have some something to say. Nothing ever is ever like it doesn't have to do that. The music does have to give you emotions, as Cynthia said. Music didn't do that. None of the music, not all. And when I thought it was going to be like Eva Peron, the musical Eva, right? Because in that musical, all they do is sing. There's very, very little dialogue in it. It was when I saw them doing the funeral thing, right? And people were talking about the Oluchi and calling her a prostitute and all that stuff. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do an Over Peron. This is like a real musical. But no, they didn't do that. I don't know why I thought that because they were talking before, but my brain wasn't connecting with the movie like that. And just to even go to a lot of technical things. This movie, there's the reason why I was starting to talk about the bad things. They could have just gotten a singer to overlay on Nancy Isime's voice. I'm not saying she's a bad singer. I'm just saying they wanted someone to do the long emotive thing, right? And that takes training. And I'm not sure whether Nancy Isime is a trained vocalist or a trained performer who performs like Beyonce is trained, all those things. Like, and even just get into this is the thing. It's a musical. ADR is accepted. You don't try to you know how many times people make fun of Les Miserables because the director decided to like be like the person to change how musicals are done and then do live and direct recording.
Oh,
And look at
Beyonce
how Les
and
Miserables
Nancy
sound.
in the same sentence. Did he call Nancy and Beyonce in the same sentence?
I said Beyonce is trained. I don't think Nancy is trained. I can call people's name in the same
I should
sentence
really
if
up
I say
your
a sentence that is
confusion.
complete. Listen to my sentence.
Mrs. Say be Ivo. She will fight you.
Listen to my sentence, okay? Because you forced me to watch this movie. Okay?
Sentence, that's the problem.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
You're going to make me become Vanessa, and I don't want to become evil. Okay? Because I'm bad when I'm evil. Nancy is not trained, and I'm just showing like I'm not saying she's a bad singer. I'm not saying Beyonce is not a bad singer. Beyonce is trained. That was what I'm saying. Nancy is not trained to perform as a singer, especially for the song that they were writing. Nancy was not the person that they should have to sing the song. I'm not even saying that they shouldn't cast her. You can cast her and have somebody else sing that song and then credit that person for the person singing the song. And Nancy Seme will just mouth lip. We just lip that mouth lip it. That's the way musicals have been done. They still do it in Bollywood. Sometimes they do it in Hollywood, but they've not been doing it in Hollywood for a little while. But like, just do that. Just honestly do that. Even the little girl, I don't know how many takes of the song that they took, but I don't think they took the best take to put in the musical. I don't think they did. This is why I said they should have gotten somebody that is at least familiar with music production in movies or in on something. So you could go get a musical director and just a musical director and have the person be just the person that directs the musical part. It happens all the time in movies, like what is in Hollywood too. An American in Paris. The one with Singing in the Rain. The guy was shooting An American in Paris. He left An American in Paris to go do the movie Singing in the Rain because and he was director of An American in Paris. Another director was the person that was going to direct something, a little thing there in American in Paris. You could just get a musical director. You don't have to be the director for this. If you don't know how to do know how to do choreographing, musicals, and all that stuff, it's okay. You're going to be the main director. Just get somebody else. Get somebody. You don't just do the first take or the third take. If the take is not good, leave it. Do another take and put it in the song. I shouldn't be hearing them cracking. I shouldn't be hearing them cracking in a musical. This is not a live performance. This is horrible. This is like terrible. And also, it's just something about Kayode Kasum's movies. There seems to be like a rush to the end, a rush to the next thing. And you're not taking time to like at least put your best foot forward. You are editing and creating. This is not live. This is not live and direct. This is a movie. Everything, even the musical became crazy at what's it called? When the fake father came. I don't know why they needed a fake father. Makes no sense to the story. But when the fake father came, do you see that entire scene where like the girl is already talking to the father in a night bar and you're going like, are you a pervert? Well, I'm so sorry. You wrote something about the little girl singing in a nightclub. in a nightclub that you already established was a nightclub. Why is a little girl singing in a nightclub? And that entire scene, she disappears. Where did she disappear to? We don't even see her like slowly move away from it. We see nothing. And then in the fact that it's a musical, you can literally get away with ADRing sounds, and you can't even do it. Even the girl, none of the actors, she can sing, lovely, she can sing, but there were some times where like with the something, it wasn't feeling. The person that was doing very well was a Onyeka Ueno. And yes, the auto-tune, who is the sound engineer and producer that you got to be doing this auto-tune? Who? Eh? What's the name of the guy that's saying I'm in the club? I mean, not in the club. The stripper. I'm in love with a stripper.
T-Pain.
Yes, go get T-Pain's somebody. T-Pain can really help you with production. At least somebody who knows how to do auto-tune. Like auto-tune is not just, you just use auto-tune on somebody that cannot sing. You can also use it on people that can sing. That can sing. And you use it well. Don't make it sound stupid. And exactly what Cynthia said. In the scene where you're supposed to be about reflection, it's suddenly all about God. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Also, it's just so, it's even in the writing just even doing a big, if you take out musical out of it, just the writing itself. Did you do more than, I'm going to say they're going to do more than 3 drafts because this is a movie. They still at least have to do 3 drafts. Did you do more than 3 drafts of this movie, of this? Did you get somebody else to look at it? Did you check from point A to point B? You're just like, oh, it's Nigeria, we go take them like that. It's the first musical. First of all, that's an insult to Kannywood, which basically they do musicals almost all the time. Insult to Kannywood. What do you think you're the first for? Even other musical songs, like first, you cannot do a musical. If you cannot relax to finish your film, if you cannot relax to plan your movies, do you think you should add a musical to it? Musical takes a lot more than just a movie. It takes a lot more. There's a reason why, like in the 1930s, the people that made the musical popular were former people who were working in the military. They cost that because that guy was very precise about all the things that went on to the thing. Because you need choreography. You need. By the way, who is choreographing this musical too? Who is the choreographer here, please? Who's the choreographer here, please? And the scene where they started looking for her. Where are you, little girl? Where are you, little girl? It was a very confusing song from the very beginning to something. Because at points, it was focusing about looking at the girl. And then it was like about the money. And then it was like, and then there was this funny bit of like, can you hear the music? What are you trying to do here, my friend? What are you trying to do here, my friend? Focus on one thing. You don't have the production power. You don't have the patience to do this musical. I'm so sorry. It is bad. You didn't even change the singer's voice. Once you know a singer cannot sing for it. I bring up Cameron Jones again. The main female actress in that movie, in the 1950s movie, she was a singer, a jazz singer. She has been singing for a long time, but guess what? She's not. She's not an opera singer, and that was an opera movie. All of those people that are singing, they are not. That is not their voice. That is not the voice. It has nothing to do whether you're a good singer or not. I know online will say that because online doesn't know anything, but it has nothing to do whether you're a good singer or not. At all. Sometimes your voice just sounds better as a country singer, or sometimes your voice just sounds better as a musical singer. Sometimes your voice has a pop feel to it. You just do it. And in a musical, you are not doing this live. You can literally control everything. You are in control of that, and you don't do that. What is wrong with you, honestly? Don't do it. Or you can do it and you can bring it out. Whatever. There's just it's first the dialogue is bad in so many ways. Like, why is the girl talk? At some point, the little girl was just getting annoying. She was just getting annoying. Why would you even have the father walk up to the girl after finding out that she's, first of all, if he never planned in the first place to bring the girl, in case it's a yes, that the girl is your child, to bring the girl into your family, never put her through a DNA test in the first place. It's a waste. It's a waste. And then you are an adult. And the thing is that I don't think anybody gets that. That is an adult telling another little girl, rejecting her. And he like, why? And we're supposed to be focused on the fact that the mother is a bad mother. Everybody here, this guy is bad too. Even the woman's change does not make no sense. They don't even get. There's one other thing that annoyed me. Nancy's flatmate. The man breaks up with his girlfriend for Nancy's issue. It's always in Nancy. Just like I remember that movie. Is it Perfect Arrangement? The movie where they were gaslighting. Cambili. They were gaslighting the other girl. Nancy is beautiful like that, me. That they don't need to write motivations for characters that don't need to be doing some of the things that they need to be doing. What kind of nonsense is this? Why is she like? Why is he going to break up with something over Nancy's matter? And Nancy don't even treat him well. What is this? What is this? What is this writing? Nancy's characters tend to have like, what's it called, main character syndrome more than other characters have main character syndrome thing. It's just, I don't know. He wrote a bad script originally, and then he wanted to make a bad script in musical. And then he couldn't, I don't know whether he went out of his way to get the people who can at least help him make the musical sound good. And then they were promoting their album. And by the way, all the songs sound the same. They sound the same. They sound the same auto-tune. It's very basic. It's even lower than basic because they're all sounding the same. How am I supposed to know the difference between the one that is about the funeral and the something if I don't listen to the lyrics? Like, what? At least follow Andrew Lloyd Webber or do something. What is this? Hey, it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable until it could have. By the way, this movie could have passed as like another like basic movie, musical something until the fake father came, and you just see the editing mistakes. And there's a lot of editing mistakes in Nigerian movies because they never show you something to go to the next something, and it's just bad. Editing mistakes, just for standard movie making editing mistake. They're also like they didn't get a good musical producer. Do they even have a musical director? Your musical something should have been very bigger than that. There's just a lot to be said about this movie. No, this movie went bad in the writing when they thought that they should have a little girl in a nightclub establishment singing without giving us a very, very good excuse of why that little girl should be singing there. Is this like a sad movie. Like, you know, the type of movies where like the little girl is exploited because she has nobody else around her. That's why those girls are often in nightclubs. Why? Why would the little girl be singing in a nightclub? So there were things that were off from the very beginning of the writing, the foundation. I'm so sorry. I have to rest my case because I cannot go with hate. I go with love. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm just going to read some comments coming through. Thanks, Yinka. Favor said that scene where they were looking for Ihanaya was weird. The way they were looking, pointing the flashlights and bending down, laughing my ass off. Everybody says, well, I didn't like the musical, Abba Father, the music, the singing, the auto tune. The rainbow lighting was just, hey, we have rainbow lighting, we have bisexual lighting. Either one you want to pick. The scene where they were looking for Ihunaya had the flashlight looking out of place in the background. The nun did not grow old. All right. Okay. All right. So you can send in your comments if you want them read out. Omar, did you please tell us?
I said earlier that this story had had a good intention. Like it has a story, but I think the writing could have been better because Nancy's characterization is bad. Like at some point, I was like, would this character do something good? Like just show me that this character is a good person. Like not even a good person, but just do something good. And I waited. I was just like, what's going on with this character? It was horrible. Like even a villain in a movie would have a little man. How would I say this? Would have a good side of their own, but Nancy's characterization was very bad. I don't know. I want to like. I want to believe that it was the director and the producer that changed what the writer wrote. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to believe that it was the director and the producer that changed what the writer wrote because I don't believe a writer would write a character like that and the character would be so bad and nothing be good about them for the lead character. And then the songs, hmm, the starting songs, the opening song was I was like, why did they change from what they were singing? I mean, the lyric of that song changed when Nancy chased after Deyemi, and I was like, they didn't go. What they were singing before didn't go with what Nancy was now singing at the end. In a musical, the songs would like, would relate with, would go with the atmosphere of what is going on, would go with the what is happening at that moment of the movie. But sometimes the song was just giving, I think it was only the burial song that made sense at some point. Even though the song didn't make sense, but it was only the burial song that went with the story at the plot progression at that moment. I was like, these songs are bad. I didn't even enjoy any of the songs, actually. They are bad. And the choreography at the church, what they were singing something else and the dance was not going. I was like, okay, what's going on here? It was cringy. So I think my brain is trying to suppress the musical part of this movie. My brain is trying to suppress it. I don't know. I'm just trying to forget the musical to just enjoy the story. Okay, this came to my mind again. What Deyemi said to that girl after he did the DNA, after the DNA result came in. I think he said, "You can't be part of my family. I can't accept you into my family." Ooh, I wished he hadn't said it like that. He could have said it some other way, and I felt like you should not be saying this to your daughter. Someone I think he's trying to like blame the girl. Maybe he's trying to like the punishment Nancy deserved. He was trying to like put it on the guy. I don't know, but he shouldn't have said that to her. I kind of no, you don't do that. Um, what else? Okay, Nancy's performance. I wish Nancy is not an actress. I swear. This is the best I've seen her do. Like, but sometimes I just wish she's not an actress. She should be like the TV host. She's doing the other gigs because she's not. I don't think she's redeemable. I swear. So I think she could just do something else than being an actress. But I think she's pulling some money for the producers, so they keep casting her. Good to them. Um, what else do I hate about this movie? I think the plot kind of. I didn't know how the girl knew she got a scholarship, and what this girl did to what Bolaji did. I don't know. Maybe she did it out of spite, or maybe she was trying to fight Nancy's character. What was making on it? Maybe she was trying to fight Nancy's character, or she kind of cared about the girl. Like, how would you pick that little girl and put her on a bus? And I don't know. And I didn't know whether Iunaya called grand aunt. I don't know that about that. So it's just that part of the plot. They didn't do it well. And what else do I hate about this movie? I think there's a lot of things I've forgotten actually, but I think those are my biggest points concerning my this. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks so much, Juju. Just gonna read out a couple more comments. Agent of Peace says, "Knocking on Heaven's Door should be in the musical conversation if we are talking about first." I can't really remember. I remember some of Knocking on Heaven's Door. I remember that, but I don't know whether. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm not actually sure how much of this has been claimed as the first. I imagine somebody somewhere would have said it, but I haven't. I don't think I've seen it from Kayode in recent times. So I might be wrong. He might have said it, but I'm just saying. So like when we're making the accusation. All right, Otas, please go on.
Hi. Okay. All right. Where to start from here? So I don't hate this movie as much, but it is not great. It's not good at all, actually. First of all, Nkem Owa's death feels more significant than it should be. No, so Nkem Owa's death is under significant in the movie, and he seems to play a more pivotal part in both female leads' lives. And that just kind of is washed over very quickly, starting from when he dies. I wasn't convinced that the child character grew up in the village. She was just very much a city child. The lead is made too unlikable. And I will say that I do like unlikable leads in general. I do like Angela, who's a murderer. I even like that this character is a deadbeat mom because I believe in women's rights and wrongs, and we've been forced to deal with deadbeat dads for so long that I will take a good deadbeat mom. However, this movie does go out of its way to villainize her. She's not only a deadbeat, she's a thief. She's stealing from her closest friends and her bandmates. She sells wedding rings that apparently mean something really out of nowhere. She's just, I don't know. She's just generally, it just feels like at every turn, she didn't just make one bad decision. She's just all out a bad person. And it's hard for you to convince me that someone who makes a career out of being a bad person. And that is their whole life up till like they're 30 something years of age. And in the last 20 minutes, they've suddenly learned something. I just didn't buy it. There is just no way to redeem that character in that time. And I think that, and I hate to say sexism here, but it just feels like the whole deadbeat mom thing here is being painted in a very, very crazy way. Um, and it makes it very hard to empathize with her, even though I do empathize with her because she does try to do the right thing. She does want to give up the child in a legal way. She does accept that she doesn't want the responsibility for this child and is willing to pass it on to the church, which is what we tell people that they should do. Um, and then her father forces her, not even her, decides to take on this child, and then he dies. And all of a sudden, it's her responsibility again. And it just didn't make sense to me in that way because she made it very clear that she didn't want to have a kid. But more than that, she did what she needed to do to give up the child in that way. And it feels like the movie is punishing her for even doing that in the first place. Um, and so I had a hard time with that. I even had a hard time with Nkewo flogging her. Number one, she just had a baby. Like it just felt very cruel. Number two, she doesn't want to raise a child. Like, why are we doing this? And then everyone is mad at her for not raising, like, not being wanting to raise the child that she didn't want to raise and that she tried to give up. Um, and then both of them were imagining they're cruel to the child. The dad was cruel to the child. I don't know why he's a good person here. The mom was cruel to the child. There was no need for him to go to her school and DNA test her. Like none of that served a purpose. I also don't understand why anyone is doing the things that they're doing. I don't understand why the lead is stealing from her bandmates. Number one, I don't understand why DMA decided to go to this child's school and DNA test her. Number two, I don't understand why he decided to tell her that he's not going to take her. Number three, I don't know why the main character and the roommate's girlfriend are fighting. They just don't like each other, but I don't know why. I don't understand why an adult thought it was a good idea to give a 10 or 11-year-old child money to take a bus home by herself at night. I don't understand why the auntie in the village didn't want to raise the child knowing that she was going to be going to boarding school. Like she literally, there was no point. There was no point for any of that. Like there was no point for the mom to even come and take her. She was going to boarding school. I found it so odd that the mom did not know that this child had school. Because at some scene she was saying, "You're on holiday. Why are you reading?" Like, like even if you're a deadbeat mom, there's no one who doesn't know when school starts in Nigeria. Like, please, everyone is just a little bit insane. Um, and I think that all of it is just because they were just so focused on making her unlikable. They made her almost just, I don't know. She was just so odd. Um, and then the lip syncing was so crazy. It was so disjointed. No one looked like they were actually singing or performing anything. The little girl looked like she was having fun, but there's a big difference. And I will go to La Femme here again because it's one of my last few where there's like live performance happening, sort of, or being shown as it's happening. And Rita carries the stage there a lot differently than um, Nancy does here. And it's just so hard to watch as a musical because of that. The songs weren't great. And yeah, it's not our finest moment.
Wow, as a people? Okay. All right. Okay, thanks, Atas. A lot of people think Nancy's character is unlikable. I don't think it's thinking at this point. I don't know. I think I was some point when we were watching the film, I said to Mrs. C that maybe Kayode is just trying to make Nancy's career like, because the second film, I don't know, Kambili, she was also awful in that film. You know, I don't know what it is about. Maybe Nancy just likes taking roles that are completely opposite to her personality. Maybe she's just a sweet person and she just wants to play awful people. I have no idea, but she keeps on playing these characters. And yes, I hear you on liking on unlikable, liking some people who are not really should be likable, but like usually you have to have something else about you, a certain charm, some people's sexiness that you bring to it, like intentional, not just because you're the actor, or smart. You know, like House is someone I love. People kind of like. Yeah, he's a douchebag in the thing. Can be very unlikable, but he's smart and he gets the job done. It's just you have to give your protagonist something. But like she just kept on making one awful decision to the other. So yes, I hear you. All right, Elizabeth. Sorry if you can hear us. Is Elizabeth or
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
You're not
yeah.
here
Can
for
you
your
hear me?
good. Yeah, I can hear you. You're not here for your good, so feel free to.
Yes. So yeah, I'll mix. This will be a mix, and I'll try to be short because people, I mean, said a lot. So my favorite scene is, I like that scene where DM's character went to see Hunaya in school. I like that scene. That's, I think, one of my best scenes. I like the Oluchi and Anibo's camaraderie. I like that a lot of people liked Hunaya. If that's also good, yeah, that should work. So let's move into the nitty gritty. This film for me, maybe because I didn't watch it in the cinemas, I have a feeling that maybe I would have felt differently about it, because I saw that the filmmaker said, they set out to make a happy movie. But one thing is this: when I watched this, it didn't exactly tick me off, because a lot of movies have, Nollywood recent films have elicited like some form of emotions from me, teetering on extreme ends. This was sort of like flat for me. I don't hate the movie. It's just very easy to, figure out a lot of the plot holes. Yes, on the musical, my brain refused to acknowledge it that it happened. My brain does not think it did, because when I started watching in the first scene, I was like, "Are you whining me?" And then she saw the Emmy's character and Nancy's character ran out of the whatever, and then she did that thing where she sang something, and I'm like, nah, you guys are kidding me. So by the second scene, I was already laughing. I'm like, maybe this movie is supposed to be parody. Maybe it's parodying actual musicals. You know what? Maybe not. Anyways, this film this is the first time Nancy's acting is bearable for me. I didn't have a problem with her acting this time around. Very bearable. It wasn't excellent, but it was like, yeah, she didn't take me off. So what this movie did not do well, this movie does not know how to tell conflicts. The conflicts weren't strongly told. And then it does this thing where it's taking on more things than it is willing to explore. I mean, from nowhere, Oluchi is cheating her band members. What has already mentioned that. Why did you put that? Why did you sprinkle that in? It's bad enough that she had the child. That's enough conflict right there, to even run away from a band member. Maybe they won't see her or anything. But why did you have to act that she's a thief and a liar and a prostitute from that child that just came out of nowhere again? Like, why did that child have to say that at 10? And then, oh, she's stealing from you guys. Then how did you know she's stealing? You know what? It was just taking on things and just sprinkling it like Salisbury. And then it's super unreasonable to write that DME was hoping to do paternity test and then is unwilling to be in your Like, why did you throw that in? So this movie barely explored anything beyond the surface, like most of our, recent movies. They had a drug use. They used that drug use as a reason to say, okay, this is the reason why Oluchi couldn't do anything, and so Hugo Naya had to sing. You had to go and bring drug use. She was having withdrawal syndromes, and so because of that, she couldn't sing. You could have given her a headache. You could have made Hunaya accidentally, like maybe where they were singing, Hunaya was singing at the back and they heard her voice. There are so many things that could have happened there. But you sprinkle drug use. We don't know if she stopped using the drugs. We didn't know if she continued. We didn't know if the withdrawal symptom, whatever, maybe got her to get to the hospital. We don't know anything about this drug. It just happened and then just, you used it and dumped it. And another thing is, and because of that, they're just using and dumping things like Nino's character was basically use and dump. DM's character, use and dump. Like, I'm not seeing this great motivation in anything. And the fake father being, why did she cheat on, why did she run away? Okay, it's as an assumption that he didn't have money. She left him for DM's character. I'm sorry, Nino's character. Nino went to prison. So she's just this horrible person all around. Then that guy is now a cab guy. He noticed. I kept thinking about this awful, awful connection. And I can imagine the rigmarole that must have happened in the writer's head to come up with this underwhelming link. Of all the things, you're going for a happy story, and we got this. Please, let's not get into how. Okay, I thought there would be something between the neighbor and herself. I was hoping that maybe this would be maybe the reading. Maybe this is where you get a redemption arc, which did not happen here. There was no redeeming arc, no redeeming qualities to our. I don't know. At no point did she redeem herself. She just changed. We didn't see the journey to that. We didn't see how that happened. I mean, yeah. We saw that part where she was thinking her father that yada yada. But even still at that, she still stole now afterward, didn't she? So there was no redemption arc here. And I thought, okay, maybe using this neighbor, maybe this is where it happens. This neighbor maybe didn't know that he like, okay, again, this is not my story. But the point is, we had that neighbor for what reason? Again, use and dumb characters. Why was this neighbor there? For Charity to send Iunaya to the village? Was that the reason why we had an entire neighbor and different things of him being concerned about Oluchi? And he knew that Eunaya is probably Oluchi's child. And this thing does not even make sense. So why was Charity there? Charity was just there to fight her and then say that Charity to the village. Like, why are you not exploring connections and why are you not exploring? I mean, you're taking themes and just using and throwing it out of the window. And then the reconciliation with the band member just came like at what 10 seconds. And why did she change her mind again? Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I stole from you guys. Yeah. Well, yeah, we forgive you. Now you can continue singing. It's such a post-it.
Can anyone else hear
No.
Elizabeth? Oh, okay. All right. Lost Elizabeth. But yeah, I'm with her on that arc thing. I was watching it and then I guess somebody told her the film is ending and she started being good. Elizabeth,
all right. Anyway,
Elizabeth, can you hear us? Elizabeth, come back up again if you can hear us. All right. But yeah, it felt like at some point you were just like, oh yes, the film is rounding up. I have to not be selfish and all of that thing again. Because I was like, what's the thing that changed your mind on being a selfish, self-absorbed narcissist? All this stuff. What changed? What happened? Because it wasn't. I mean, like if childbirth didn't do it for you, if your father died, didn't do it for you. Like I'm not sure what happened to her. Is it because they caught her? I don't know. Like she just decided. I guess yeah. Like I said, the movie was ending. She was like, all right, we've got to make amends now. But it didn't make sense to me anyway. All right. Vanessa, do you want to try again whilst we see if we can get Elizabeth back on?
Yes, I do. Hi, guys.
Great joy to call you last.
Can I do? Isn't it
Hang on,
great? Isn't it great? I gave you the
wait.
opportunity to not say my name
I
first.
just realized you're not even next. You're not even
Oh,
next. Sorry.
Chineke God. After I've done hi guys with celebration. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sorry, but yeah,
I thank
Tarara is
you so
actually
much.
nice. Hate behind your
Good
lead.
evening.
Hi, good evening, Tarara. Have you please tell us? You weren't here for your good. Please tell us what you liked, what you didn't like.
Okay, I actually liked Obara'm. I liked the movie because I say I got the overall intention of the writer. Now I liked the child actress, Iwunaya. She was phenomenal. Um, I liked seeing Onyeka Owenu again. I really enjoyed seeing her. I love watching her. Nkemo was also I think the actors, I enjoyed seeing them. The support cast actually did a good job. They really, 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 for the one scenes, the two scenes, the three scenes that they appeared, they delivered. Now, the overall movie was okay. Now, let me move to what I did not like. What stopped this movie from being an excellent movie? Someone mentioned earlier that Kayode Kasum's movies always feel rushed, and I agree. Many of these movies have that thing of and I noticed it first with this lady's life, and I started, replaying all his other movies. They would explore a particular thing to almost 10 minutes to the end of the movie. Then they just start rushing everything at the end of the day. And I think that is a very major flaw that he needs to work on as a director. You cannot have all your movies looking rushed at the end of the day. Now, the Nancy Isime's character they packed too many things. Too many things were going on with her in a short period of time. Too many things were going on there. And I felt sorry for her character because she didn't want to keep the child. I think we should look at it from the angle of her that she didn't want to keep the child. The father literally imposed wanting a grandchild on her, and she was forced to live with it. And yeah, she's selfish, she's this, but she wanted to do what was best for the child by giving up the child for adoption. She did not want the child. So why are we crucifying her for not wanting to be responsible? Now, I was already understanding that part that okay, she doesn't want to be responsible. Maybe the movie is encouraging us to actually not just maybe the movie was encouraging viewers that if you don't want a child, give them for adoption, you don't have to keep a child. But only for us to get to the end of the movie and she was, taking a step backward, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. Now I want you." I mean, I don't know. It didn't follow. The thing didn't follow for me at that point. I don't want to belabor the musical part, but it felt strange that you had someone as talented as Onyeka Onwenu on set, and you had to use auto-tune for her voice. I don't know why anybody would think that is a good idea. She's a very excellent singer, always has been. So I don't think they needed to use auto-tune when she was singing. The cavemen rather, were in the band. Auto-tune wasn't so, I think they brought in professional musicians in that film, and they could have used them they could have made use of them as properly as they ought to make use of them, but they did not. I don't want to go into the songs because everybody said a lot about the songs, but there's an inconsistency in Nancy Isime's character, Oluchi's character. There was a very huge consistency in that character, and that made the movie somehow. Because you cannot tell me somebody was selfish, self-centered, wanted to live their life, and in 10 minutes in the movie, the person was changing and becoming sacrificial. It is not going to happen. So they should have just left the fact that she didn't want the child. She left the child with the aunt, and she should have made a better ending than what we had. Like I said, I liked the movie because it had this sort of, I don't know how to put it, this sort of ending, but I don't know. Then the part where she went home and she was singing a Christian song, it was funny to me because she was trying to have a moment of self-reflection. There was no need to bring in religion. I think the over-religiosity of our society crept into that movie because there was no need for her to be singing Christian songs in that setting. She didn't need to go into Christian songs. She could have just sang a normal song and we would be fine. And there's this obsession of Nollywood with putting first in front of their movies. There have been movies that have, even old Yoruba movies, we've had musicals. And really, Obara'm is not the first musical, so to speak. I wished they didn't pack so much, because that reminds me, um, the neighbor's character, the neighbor and the neighbor's girlfriend, that's Bola Jogumola. That arc was also not properly explored. We just saw that there was hostility between her and the neighbor's girlfriend. There must have been something that made the hostility come by. So Nancy wasn't nice to the neighbor. The girlfriend wasn't nice to the neighbor. So I don't know. There was a lot going on at the same time, and they did not properly explore each of the themes they set out at the beginning. They set out a theme of Nancy being covetous, being selfish, being greedy, and just wanting to be by herself. Her father was set out to be selfless, uncaring for what she thought, and literally giving up his life for his grandchild. They did not fully explore these themes, and it really, 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 really gave the movie some unnecessary low points. Once again, overall, I enjoyed the movie. I liked the sentimental part of it, because I could be sentimental at times. But looking at it on the holistic point of view, it could have been way, 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 way better than it was. Way better than it was. They didn't need to put so much in the writing. Just a simple thing. Like we were talking about Sister last week. Sister had just one theme, and all of us. This one, they try to put a lot of things together, and it's like they say, too much ingredients usually just spoils the food. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Tara. Yeah, no, I see how like the simplicity of Sister was easier to follow. I think this thing actually, yeah, no, I get that there were a lot of things thrown in, but I just think it wasn't even that crazy. I just didn't think it handled it particularly all that well. All right, Vanessa, do you want to say something?
Can I do my good as well?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, I'm going to try to be serious here. I'm going to try and take Obara'm serious. Good. I think everyone's good is Darasimi, the young girl, Ihunyanya Abi. She's everybody's revelation, even though sometimes I do my eye one kind with this acting. It a bit too much, but then again, it's a child, so overall, she's probably the only one of the best goods about the film. Onye Kawenu is my second good, because that voice, that singing that she do sing in the church, I was like, finally, music. Wow, we have music in a musical. Finally, the musical that has been musical since it wasn't musical. When I heard Onyeka, I was like, yeah, the music has finally come. I was like, this is the singing that I came here for. It didn't last long, but I was happy. I know Onyeka is a really talented actress. I don't understand why I don't know what it is. I think it's Nollywood ageist, because I don't know what it is, but they keep putting her in supporting roles where she barely has a line or two. And I actually think she emotes really well. She doesn't do too much. Her voice is incredibly charismatic. And I don't mean her singing voice, I mean her speaking voice is really, it carries a lot of emotion in it. So Yinka Kanwenu is my next good. Nkemawo, I think, is one of the most elegant men we have in Nollywood. The way he carries himself, honestly, I don't know. I think when we talk about like acting talents in Nollywood, we seem to brush over Nkemawo. Maybe because of his comedic history, but Nkemawo is one of the greatest acting talents we have in Nollywood. That man can act his butt off. My next good. Speaking of firsts, we got the first Nancyism in a film to be sung. And it made me so happy. So every single film that Nancy has been, there's been a Nancyism. from Uncouth in what's the name, Kambili, to we're Fugitives now in Blood Sisters, and then we got Trail. Maybe because the singing was distracting me, I didn't really hear it, and I had to listen again. Oh, we do have a Nancyism. I was like, my sister, read that word again. No, she went trailing, no, my sister said trial is trail, but I was quite pleased. Usually it gets me upset, but I was happy because they were singing it. What else? My next good. It wasn't too long. It was a short enough film. So yeah, those are my goods. Now on to the fun part. um, yeah, from the very first musical number, I was like, yeah, this is how this film is gonna go. This is how this film is gonna go. As soon as I heard the first song, I was like, yeah, I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm getting. It's not gonna be great. My hopes are not up. You know when I knew this song was gonna be rubbish, and let me tell you, they deceived me. They did me alley oop. I was bamboozled because when they started, and what's that his name from Cavemen was doing, I was like, oh, he's about to sing for me. Only for Nancy Sime to appear from somewhere, and I was like, Cavemen were just singing just now. Now what happened? And then when she ran outside to follow Dayemi, and when he ran into the car, that she was like, why did he come? And how did this song go yourself? I was like, what is happening? What is actually happening? You people, is this me? Ayama, as much Ayama was musical. If you people watched Ayama was a musical, and the music was musicking. It was well produced. They got people. I don't know if they got them voice training or if they were actual singers, but like these people were singing. They were singing. I was like, yes, Ayama was a musical. This thing, I don't know what they call this thing. This thing, he did the musical, because the auto tune was not auto tuning. Maybe they needed help from T-Pain with the auto tune because it wasn't really given. I was like, and then beyond just the auto tune, like the lyricism of it all, like I get it. You're singing emotions out and you're singing about the current situations or whatever, but at least let there be some lyricism. The lyrics to the songs, I was like, what is literally? What was the song when Nancy and Bolaji Karata were fighting? Don't mistake me for something. I come from the trenches. What was the song? Otas, don't you know this song? You should know this song because don't fight with me, Abi, don't mess with me. Is it because I smile or something? I'm from the trenches. I was like, is this really the music of a musical? Don't mess with me, I'm from the trenches. Wow.
I look cute, but I come
That's
from the
it. I look
trenches.
cute, but I come
Get
from
it
the
right.
trenches. Sorry. Whoever wrote that song, when they were writing that lyric, they were feeling they were in their Beyonce bag. I look good, but I come from the trenches. The fight that Nancy went to slap somebody that put her down, walking mole, that they sat down on top of Nancy. How will you pick a fight with somebody that will beat you? How do you pick a fight with somebody that will beat you? Why? Why would you do that? Also, you people are saying you don't understand why there's hostility. Let me tell you why there's hostility. Nancy and that neighbor, they do have chemistry. When that man went and told Nancy, oh no, stop. When he went to separate fight, that he was holding her face, I was like, there's something happening here. I can see it. There's a romantic something. And that's what his girlfriend is seeing.
Thank you.
His girlfriend was seeing I'm sorry,
Exactly.
I don't know. They didn't explore the romance, but his girlfriend saw what I saw. That's why she was aggressive. His girlfriend saw what me
But
I
what was the girl
saw.
aggressive?
That's why she was angry. Because at the minute he walked in and was like, so are you good? Even when they ate his rice. How can they eat your rice that you cook for your girlfriend? You are not angry. There's something going on. When he was like, oh, when are you going to tell her? Every time, the way he does the book boyfriend lean. I'm sorry, you people did not notice this. This man literally leaned against Nancy's door. Book boyfriend lean. This man leaned against her door. Oh, brother. There is a romantic something. That's why his girlfriend was angry. They just didn't really explore it as they did a bunch of things. They just pick up on something and then they drop it. I don't know. Honestly, I found this film hilarious. Like, I don't think I was offended because I didn't have high expectations. I wasn't really offended by it. The only thing that really offended me, and it's not really offensive, I just think I'm tired. I'm tired of Nollywood writing unlikable main characters. I remember when I said this thing when we were talking about the young adult show that shall not be mentioned, and and how the main character was incredibly unlikable. And people came for me and were talking about what and what. Nollywood does this thing where they think writing a complicated character means they should be unlikable. No, people's layers aren't just that they're horrible people. Literally, 10 minutes into this film, the first question I asked is, why is she so horrid? It's one thing to give someone layers and say this is the reason why they are the way they are. But these people didn't even say this is the reason why Nancy is the way she is. They just made her a horrid person. Literally, 5 minutes into this film, after they gave her 40,000 naira for the band, this girl moved 10K and put inside her waist bag. From that, I was like, Haba. When I saw her take the money, I was like, okay, so she's a thief and she's shortchanging her band. Why is she the way she is? Her father is calling her, she's not responding. Even when she goes back to the village, she's incredibly hostile. Like, she doesn't want to be there. And then when they finally give us the flashback, I'm like, okay, I kind of sort of get it, but it doesn't explain all the other parts of your life in which you're horrendous. Like, you do nothing to explain to us why your characters are the way they are. What are the motivations? What has happened to them in their life to make them who they are? Why? And I hate that I have to ask why every single time I watch a Nollywood film and with characters, and I'm constantly asking why. Why did you do what you did? Why did you write them the way they are? Why are they the way they are? What is it influencing their action? Why? It really upset. I said I was, but it's really upsetting because then you just get characters that you expect us to root for who? If you're saying this is your lead and you expect us to want for them to go through this process, this character arc where they become better people at the end of the day, and you want us to be so invested in their journey that you want us to want to see them be better. I'm not going to be rooting for a horrendous person. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be rooting for someone who is a thief, who is a liar, who is so horrid. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to root for a person that's just, I'm not going to root for someone I don't like. I'm not going to root for, so I don't have any emotional attachment to this main character that you want me to care about their journey. Why? Why should I care about what Nancy's going through? Even Darasimi, as cute as Darasimi was as Ihunaya, I genuinely, my own was last, they will find somebody that will take care of her. They didn't even explain to us that she was going to boarding school. If I knew from the very beginning where she have write exam where she's going to boarding school, well, lie, small be lie, I wouldn't have cared about anything that happened. Honestly, I would not have cared about anything that happened to her in this film. Because the only reason why I cared was, okay, if Nancy is this horrible a person, really, do you want this innocent child to be with a horrible person? And I was confused as to why the auntie refused to take care of this child, especially when they tell us Nancy didn't want this child in the first place. I don't know why and the big auntie didn't want to take care of the child. So that was the only reason why I even cared about what was going to happen to the Hunaya girl. But if they had told me this girl is going to a boarding school, but lie, small be lie, I would not have cared. Because I have no attachment to any of these people as characters. None whatsoever. And then in Nollywood fashion, by the end of the second act into the third act, they're trying to rush and tie everything into a pretty little bow. And it's not bowing. The bow is not bowing because I don't know. You did not explain to us who Deyemi was. Deyemi just made this flashing appearance in the first scene. And then fast forward. Nino came from nowhere. Granted, sorry, honorable mention in my good, I forgot. Nino in a black turtleneck and gold chain. Sexiness. Back to the point. Anyway, Nino just appeared from nowhere and he's like, that's my child. He's a criminal. He's not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. He's not a criminal. What? And then after that, and still we don't know what Deyemi is doing in this. Then from nowhere, she walks in. How did she know his house? I don't know. Who told her where he lives? She's been following me about me. And then she just opens the door to his house. Come about, I want to speak to your husband. We have a child. I have a child for you. You have a this. Get out. Excuse me, Ejo, brother. He said 10 years, Abi. She 10 years. Long this thing have happened. He's not over it. He's not ashamed of himself, franking his face for something that happened 10 years ago. You would think that Nancy killed his mother. Is it not just that they said they are not doing relationship again? She relationship more. If he was this angry after finding out that she hid a child from him, well-deserved anger. But because woman says she not they do again, I call the verse that I say tomorrow, no, they waiting. I was like, but that 10 years, you are not over. You are stalking her. Okay, granted, he said he didn't stalk her. It just happened upon her in the bar. Furum. But okay, you happen upon her in the bar, you're franking your face, you walk out. Then you are all 10 years. Married with children, you are not over it. As your wife, I will be quite upset because 10 years ago, Linkini is Shelley, and you are not over it. How? What are you angry about exactly? That woman says she doesn't want to be with you because you don't have money. Okay. I'm confused. And then you are nobody is redeemable in this thing because you are trying to make us feel sorry for who? They and me? No, because this is a horrid man who goes to disrupt a young child's life to ask for a DNA test and make it seem like something is going to come out of this DNA test and make this girl feel like, okay, she doesn't like her mother because her mother's horrible. And she's like, okay, at least I have hope in this parental figure. And alas, my brother carried her hopes and dashed it to the ground and says, no, I don't want to be your father because it's going to interfere with my How? Nancy's not saying marry me. She don't want you. She still don't want you. She don't love you. She don't want you. But your child, how is that going to... How? And then all of a sudden, they meet by the graveside. They smoke, cry. I miss you. You people. Then all of a sudden, from nowhere, Waje is involved. How did Waje come into the picture? And then all of a sudden, we have to collaborate again. We have to, in their white, we have to collaborate again. Oh, mommy, you call me mommy. You people, you see, this thing was just jokes. Full on jokes. Because you don't, You people should stop this thing. I know Ota said let's not do it again, but honestly, let's actually not. I'm begging you people, let's not. And I'm sorry, Kayode Kasum, it's not looking good, bruv. It's actually not looking good, bruv. Because except for Kasala, I,
Huh? Huh? Wait, no.
what?
Kasala is Emma. I thought you were going to call Oga Bolaji,
Oh
but
wait, it's Ogabolaji I was thinking. Sorry. That's the one in the hood now. That's Moto
yes.
key somebody's child, Abi. It's
Yes.
Ogabolaji, that's him. Except for Ogabolaji, I don't know. To be quite frank, it's not looking really good, bruv. Something has to give. We need to go back to the drawing board. We need to figure out what it is that we're doing because it's not really giving. And I'm sorry, I know somebody was harsh when they said they don't think Nancy is an actress, and I've pretty much been harsher about somebody else, my Benue sister. But let's be fair. Let's be fair. Something. I don't know what we have to do. And I don't think they should go to New York for a film school. Somebody needs to give somebody acting classes. It's something. Something has to give. Because I know I said this last week. Was she in? No, she wasn't in Sister. It was the previous week. And I said it was when we were watching A Love in a Pandemic. And I said, Nancy is just, I don't know. She just comes across as really whiny. Even when this character is unlikable, she's just severely whiny. I don't know if it's the direction, I don't know what it is, or if it's choices that she's making if it's acting choices that she's making with these characters. It just comes across as whiny. What are you whinging about? What? Why? Why are you whiny? What grown woman is that whiny? I'm sorry. Why do you sound? I don't. It's not really working. We need to reconfigure that acting a little bit. This wasn't her worst performance by any ramifications. It wasn't. It honestly wasn't the worst of her performances, but it wasn't great either. It really wasn't. This could have gone to somebody else who can act and I can sing. Theater arts department. Wow. We have a lot of people in our theater, in the people who perform in theater in Nigeria. A lot of our stage actors can sing and act. Why they no hire one of them? They do plenty. They do plentiful that can act and can sing. Why? At least we know.
Can they bring in money? Can they bring in money?
Can we bring in money? To be quite frank with you, this one now, shekpe omu money wa ni cinema. let's ask ourselves. Minus streaming, let's be true. Let's ask ourselves the truth. Did he bring money in the cinema? Did he bring money in the cinema? So at this point, I don't know what the marketing people are thinking and whether certain faces actually bring. At this point, let's be honest with ourselves. The only bankable people, and I don't even know if it's people, the only bankable person who knows certifiable if she's on the thing will bring money to the cinema is Funke Akindele. Otherwise, everybody else is anywhere belle face. Now by the will of God, ni. Inshallah, ni. That's it. It's not by faith. So we need to start making actual decisions with good films. Because at the end of the day, a lot of Nigeria is still run by word of mouth. As much publicity and marketing and advertising that you do, if Nigerians don't like a film, people will not go and watch it in the cinema. So you might as well put people who can actually deliver a good film that people will talk about and say, "Oh my guy, I watched this film for cinema." I just say, man, enter the scene, no man, see as it take B. I don't even really know the people where did the screen, but as I see him, I say, man, just see, and he really good. Oh, guy, me will go watch him again. It's not by now, see me. Because honestly, we can't keep regurgitating the same 5 people who cannot act. But honestly, it wasn't too bad, guys. It wasn't that. I know I sound like it was horrendous, but it wasn't bad.
All this,
It wasn't bad. It was
all
good.
this,
Ish.
all this dragging for wasn't that bad. Let's not invite you to a movie you think is bad. All right.
We already know how that went.
Okay.
Ask FFH how that went.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Mrs. C, do you have words?
I feel like everybody has said everything, to be honest, and a lot has been said more time than this one deserves. It's yeah, because I remember in my goods I said like I did like that, DMA could go. I don't want to be actively a part of this life because, if you do disappear, 10 years don't come back. But oh God, I feel like the filmmakers hated that little child because why would you have him come? Start building some rapport with her and then dash her hopes. I think doing the DNA test, adding that in there was fine, right? But making it like letting her know what is going on. And then it was just unnecessarily cruel. Because again, who are these people? Who are these characters? Who is this DM's character, right? Is his name Fidelis? Like, what is in this person what have you shown us about this person so far that would make him do something so cruel to a child, right? Because when they show him in the flashback, he's just being a good boyfriend, fetching water for her, and, she's breaking his heart. When they show him again, the next time, he's a family man who he runs into her at the club, right? And he leaves. And then he's a family man who has his children and his wife is very affectionate towards, and he gets a bomb dropped on him. And then he's, having this nice little rapport with the child. And then he does something so exceptionally cruel. It's like, who is this person? How does it track? Nancy's character was just a horrible, awful human being. And not in the giving up of the child, because again, I'll go back to it, right? I don't like the idea of not being able to give up the child, right? But I guess for her it was so. I know getting an abortion in Nigeria is incredibly difficult, like a nice safe one, right? It's incredibly difficult. I know people have their ways and all of that stuff, right? But it seems like she found out she was pregnant and she made a choice. I'm going to go with this rich guy and I'm going to have the baby for him, right? And he's going to support us. And then he gets arrested. She has the baby and she's like, all right, baby's going to the orphanage. Right? And it's like, I understand giving up the child because you don't want to have a kid. I understand giving up the child because the best thing for a child. But yes, literally her father was right there who was willing to take care of the child, which he did, right? Eventually. But I'm like, yeah, you should. I was like, yeah, she's kind of an asshole. But if you take a child that I don't want, why are you asking me for school fees? right? But then again, that could also be an example from deadbeat dads, and I don't want to let people off paying child support. So touchy. But yeah, she's a thief, right? She's irresponsible. It's just, when did she flip? When did she change? When did she redeem herself? When did she deserve a place in this little girl's life? Right? Like, one of the first parenting decisions she makes is allowing the child go perform in a bar. So irresponsible. It's like, when did we get this loop? When did we get this change? When did this character have a chance to develop? I didn't see that, so that was kind of disappointing. And then this bit in her dad's house, right, where she's singing. I think Cynthia mentioned it. The song. I'm listening to the lyrics, and she's singing about how God did not bring her this far to fail, and I'm like, this doesn't match. This doesn't track. I don't understand how this song is relevant to you and to this situation. And yeah, and that brings me to the musical part of this thing, right? Because the auto-tune was awful. I think, like Vanessa mentioned, when Onyeka started singing, I was like, yes, God, finally. And then they auto-tuned the living daylights out of her. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And then the other girl in the choir, you can hear she can sing as well, but then they auto-tuned the living daylights out of her. It's like, why are you doing this to me? And so this is what I was saying. So I was speaking to Mr. C this afternoon. I was like, okay, I was going to say, right, our sound, and the sound in this is very bad, very, very bad. I know this is usually Mr. C's time to shine, but I noticed how awful the sound was. The sound was painful, absolutely painful. And why are you doing a musical if you have painful sound? But I was thinking, I know we haven't got sound right, and I think that could be a problem to musicals. But then I remember we do music. Like, Nigerian music is a thing, right? Nigerian music is global. Nigerian music is one of the places that people are using to have faith in Nollywood, right? Like, if our music could make it out of the trenches, there is hope for our movies to make it out of the trenches. So we're mixing sounds, we're producing songs. Why do all the songs sound so bad? And then I was like, why didn't we bring in musicians? And it reminded me the cavemen were on it. I'm like, yes, shit, okay. So how much control, power did they give them in this process? Because I don't know, I don't imagine their songs sound like that, right? Like, modern Nigerian musicians are not dropping songs that sound that bad. It's like, if we couldn't get anything right, we could have gotten the music to sound right. It's not animation. We're not doing something that is far-fetched. It's this idea of, it's a musical. It's, we don't do musicals often, that's fine, but we do music. We're equipped to do music in Nigeria. We're equipped to make music sound nice in Nigeria. We have that ability. Why is that so bad in this film? I didn't see much effort to make it seem like people were actually singing, right? And it's like, and the church scene is going on, and they're trying to do all this dancing and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's a musical. I'm willing to suspend disbelief, right? Because in normal world, people don't break into song, right? But it's a musical. Of course, people are going to break into song and do choreographies and all of that stuff, and it's going to be great. But the choreography sucks. Nancy Simmons singing is bringing me out of it. And the auto-tune is bringing me out of it. It's like, okay, I can't enjoy this as a musical. This is not a musical, so I have to focus on the story. But then you're not giving me motivations, you're not giving me characters, you're giving me this really, really shitty human being as a lead that we're supposed to root for. And I really wanted her neighbor's girlfriend to beat her ass, because why are you stealing food and then having mouth? Like, yes, she's doing the can't believe thing where they're gaslighting someone's girlfriend again, because you can't tell me all that is innocent when you can take someone's whole food and they don't say shit, right? And I was like, you know what? Auntie Charity did you a favor by putting your daughter in the bus, because she had run away and nobody had helped her. How was she going to get on the bus? Maybe she should have brought her back, but she got her home safe, right? Just take the L and move on. Anyway, yeah, the whole thing about the boarding thing. Yeah, in summary, Obara'm started to stress me at some point. It really started to stress me at some point, and that's the bad. It stressed me.
Okay. Okay. So what I thought didn't go well. All right, let me first read Omar Didi's. He put an addendum. He said, I shouldn't have said, I wish Nancy isn't an actress. I'm sorry for saying that. I want her to get better, and she should work with directors who can direct her, hopefully in smaller movies away from. Anyway, I mean, okay, so I think I have notes somewhere. All right, yes. Okay, so I think a lot of us has talked about the writing and Nancy being bad. I'm not going to do that again. But I think there's something underneath all of this that didn't sit well with me, and not because it's particularly bad. It's just because I am past that place in my life. But a lot of this felt like some of the things, like, I don't know how to put it for men, but for women, it's whatever. It's kind of like 50 Shades, where a woman will come and take. And you just be a woman in your chilling in your maybe just coming out from the library, and a billionaire will come and carry you. And the men's version is you are broke, and you're with this woman, and she will leave you whilst you're broke, and then later you will blow, and then she'll come and beg you. I'm past that stage in my life where that kind of thing will suit me. It just feels a little more cringe to me at this point. Like, all the men in this are kind of like really, if the neighbor can cook and he's just like, oh yeah, eat my food, I don't mind. Hey, have good positive male role models, I don't mind. And let women, like, be for women's rights and wrongs. Cool. I just like it. It bored me because it's so surface level, and it doesn't feel too doesn't it's skin deep. Is that the term? Yeah. All right. So there's that. The editing I didn't like a lot. They were confusing sometimes. People talked about the flashlights. I was confused by so many moments in this, and it was just because of the way they were edited. I think even the first time we watched it, and even when Damie clocks Nancy's character in that during that first open number, and she starts looking for him. I wasn't even sure he headed out. I wasn't sure by how far she headed out, because like when she comes out, I thought they were really close, and then when she comes out, he's like in his car driving away. I was confused by that. Because of the way it was put together, I had to take it back again. Nkem, this is the first time I agree with everyone who has said Nkem is a really good actor and he's great. And I think he's great in parts of this, but this is not his best performance at all. Him as the choir master, I think somebody said it was cute or something. Maybe cute is not necessarily mean good for this, but like Nkem was going the opposite way from the rest of the choir. He was out of tune with the thing, and like, this is not his thing. It's like, my guy is waving his hands like this. Yeah, you can tell this is not a thing my G does. Which yeah, it's just. And then they had him in some of the songs as well. He don't sound good. No matter. I don't know whether they auto-tune is this thing, but he was doing a lot of ad libs as well. It's just the first time I've watched Nkem and just felt deeply uncomfortable with his performance. But yeah, that was when there were songs and he was doing choir master thing, because I do think he did well in other things. Talk about sound. There are little parts of this that directing wise that just, I'm like, oh man, how come? Why? This is like, I think this is like, I don't know how. Kayode makes a lot of films like this, and this one felt like it was supposed to be his baby. I didn't feel that care about this film. It didn't feel like someone's baby, except maybe, I don't know, like whether it's deadlines or whatever, but it didn't feel like it had a lot of care in it. I'll give you an example of there's a line Nancy's doing with Bucci, who I liked in this. I thought he was funny. But when you do scenes with comedians, they often go off script. They do a little bit of improv. And there was a sort of like joke that they had set her up for. It was I think it was something like every time, same music, same song, same something, right? And the way I'm almost sure, I've not seen the script, but I'm almost sure about it. Almost sure that the way this was supposed to work is that he does that as a setup, same music, same this, and she comes in with a line. What about, I can't remember what it is. Don't you do the same drinks all the time or whatever? That was supposed to be the punchline. He does the setup, she does the punchline. But the way it's delivered, Butchie does that setup, but then he adds some improv afterwards. And then Nancy has to do this thing where she has to redo the whole thing again, like recite the whole line again, but do the setup and the punchline by herself. Now, the problem with this is that, sometimes, again, like I said, comedians are going to do what comedians do. They will go off script. But like, this is your baby, no? This is the thing this is your work. You go, no, hang on. Let's take that again. This is actually the aim of this is so that this line lands exactly like this. And we just rolled it there. And there's so much part of this that feels exactly like that scene for me. The music feels like something that I could probably come up with if you gave me a week of learning how to edit stuff and mix music together. I don't know that that's actually necessarily true, but it felt like it. It didn't feel like it was something that anybody that knew what they were doing put together. And that was really sad for me watching. But the times where I'm watching it and the aspect ratio has changed I've seen this in a few Nollywood movies, but it's usually like just like a thing for a moment. The aspect ratio, like, just almost like whiplash. The amount of times it changes, I'm like, wait, what's going on? The first time, I think, was to read this guy's letter, right, from when he's dead. Although it comes in like, I don't know, like a few seconds too early. But I don't know. The other times, I have no idea. There's a time where the color grading of the scene just changes. I'm like, what's going on in the middle of the shot? So I'm not sure what was going on with this film. It seemed like, I'm sure that's the thing with these things. I'm sure if you ask Kayode now, he'll tell you about a million things that were really difficult to do and difficult to put together and all of that. It just feels disappointing because Kayode has made a lot of films. I really am expecting better by now. It's crazy to me that I think Oga Bolaji was his second film that he's made, and that feels like that's way better than a lot of the things he's put forward. But yeah, anyway, that's the stuff I had. So I haven't gone through comments again, but yeah, let's start doing our summaries. Cynthia, do you want to start us off?
Oh yes. Yeah, you said something about Ikemo's performance, and I just remembered a joke. I just remembered a joke I made to my friend while I was watching this movie. I was like, Ikemo read the script, he accepted it, and he was happy that his character was going to die at the beginning, so that, like, because of the whole embarrassment of the script and everything, I was like, oh, I'm happy my character is going to die. So let me just continue. So it was a joke I made to my friend when I finished. Hey, Nick! It was a joke I made to my friend when I finished watching the movie. So yeah, in summary, I don't know. I honestly think that they were too focused on, let's put out a musical. Like I said, there is nothing to take out of the music. It did nothing for the plot. It wasn't even like they were doing a dialogue, except during the church scene. It wasn't even like it brought out any emotion. It was just flat. I honestly cannot remember any song except that Nancy Isime, Lord, I surrender to you because because I laughed so hard that I almost fell down. So I can remember that song. The choreography, people said it's bad, but I was happy to see it because that was how I was dancing last night. Yeah, I mean, they had a story to tell, I guess, but they are too focused on we need to just make a musical. Okay, so when it goes to cinema, we advertise it as the best musical of the year. That they lost everything. So yeah, I don't know. Even though I estimate acting, like I said before, why everybody admires her acting, I felt that at some point she was behaving too adult and she lacked a little bit of childness. But yeah, that is it for me. Too focused on the music, forgot that there's a movie. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. Income's summary.
I don't want to be sounding like ChatGPT, so ir- I'm going to add some things new. This movie, I think what went wrong is that if you are somebody who doesn't, I don't know, who normally rushes movies and doesn't like write movies. Well, you write movies, but what I mean is like you take your time and you go from A to B. There will still always be mistakes in movies, though. But like you go from A to B, you check it and check it and check it again, right? If you are somebody who don't do that, why do you think doing a musical is easier? You're doing double work. You're doing double work. If you cannot do the first work, don't do the second work. Eh? But anyway, is this movie again? Movies are for you to watch on a Sunday night or any night to enjoy, forget your troubles. And if this movie is giving you more troubles than forgetting, yeah, there are many movies, there are many TV shows. Change the channel or change to a different one. It's okay. This movie is just it's the musical was okay until when by okay I mean it was like really really like kind of passable like D. It was G level D and until it got to when Nino came in and that nightclub scene. From there, like it just the the themes of it just became more visible, more horrid, more just like. Ah. But again, you can choose whether to watch it or not. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Anika. Atas, please give us your summary. Atas, are you there? Can people hear her? Can you guys hear her?
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here.
All right.
Took me a second to unmute myself. So my summary is that Obara'm was almost a musical, but not quite. The girl who plays the little girl has a lot of promise, and I hope she's in more. I like the story they had to tell, but the way this is put together is very, very clumsy. It's a clumsy attempt, but I actually would watch it again. Um, and I probably would recommend it. It's a little fun.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Atas. Vanessa.
Yeah. If you can take a joke, yeah, watch it because the entire film is a joke. If you love musicals, then don't, because you just be angry that someone had the effrontery to call this a musical. Um, but it's short, so you can get through it really quickly.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Mr. C.
Well, this happened.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought I already called you. Go ahead, please.
So I don't like the way you read my apology tweet. Okay, I'm very sorry, Nancy. Whenever you're listening to this, I didn't mean what I said. So I'm very sorry. I want her to get better. Okay, and before I say my summary, someone took what something I said. Maybe the person was trying to correct me, or maybe the person was trying to. I don't know what the person tweeted something about it. I saw it, and I want to tell the person that maybe you should go and work on your shows, go and work on your writer's room, and and the way people pronounce names on your show. You should focus on that instead of picking things that are not necessary. So my summary is that I want to see another musical movie from Nollywood. I, I think we can do better. I really love the attempt, but we can do better. So I would recommend this movie because of Darasimi. Yeah, I would recommend it. Yeah, I want to see something better. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Didi. Mr. C.
Yeah, I think what you said is what you said, the thing about it showing a lack of care. And I mean, this is consistent in a lot of Nollywood, but I did really see a lack of care in this, which is very sad and disappointing. And also, I don't know, I know we have bad sound, but I feel like considering the state of our music industry, we don't have an excuse to make to have bad music in a musical. If we're making a musical, the rest of the story can be shit, but the music should not be bad. We don't have a right to do that. That's my summary.
Okay. It's crazy because I think it was either last film club or two film clubs ago, I was saying one thing that we tend to do well when we do music is original music. And I said we should do more. And then I went, it's just you can't really win. You can't really win. But yeah, this wasn't one of the good original music, I think, from us, and it's more sad than anything. I think it's out of as a weird. I enjoyed this on a weird watching a weird experiment happened that was definitely unsuccessful. But yes, it depends on if you like to watch stuff like that. If not, I don't know, watch somebody's, I don't know, listen to a bunch of people and see whether it's for you. But like for me, it was an interesting watch, but yeah, not good. But we are going to be discussing next week the highest grossing Nollywood movie of all time, in Battle on Booker Street. That it's on Prime right now. It's available. Please do watch it. Please do join us next week when we join again. Let's see what the rest of Nigeria has put on this mantle. But yeah, it should be fun. But thanks to everybody who did join. This was another fun conversation. Thanks for all the people who have listened and sent in comments. Appreciate you. And we will see you next week, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday, 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.